What's up, gamers, and today I want to talk about why you as a free-to-play player should be building Lucy the best build that you can possibly build for, the best teammates that she has, how she actually works, how you can get the most benefit out of her, why she is cunty. She's just kind of cunty, isn't she, bro? I think this is the only Hoyoverse character I've ever heard to cuss in a title or I guess a trailer, mind you. So yes, I love Lucy. She's been working well for me. Anyways, gamers, let's start where all great guides start at, a kit breakdown. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So the main thing that drives her kit, the main thing that drives her buff, guys, is her skill move. What you should be using for this is the EX special attack. You can either press it or hold it. Both of them do different things. Just keep that in mind. And we'll talk about which one's better than the other. So basically what both of these moves are going to do, whether you press it or hold it with the EX, you're going to be launching your guard boards at the enemy. And whenever you launch these guard boards at the enemy, you'll be giving a cheer on status to your allies. You'll be increasing all of your allies' attack by 25% of Lucy's attack up to a maximum of 600. And this will be lasting either for 10 or 15 seconds depending on what move you use. Like I mentioned, there's two different ways you can do this, by either one, clicking the X special attack, which is a line drive, which gives you 10 seconds, and then holding down the button here will give you a 15-second timer here. As you can see, it's going down much slower now, gives you extra 5 seconds, which gives you more optimal rotations. That is the move that you want to be using the most of. Now let's go ahead and talk about what her core passives and additional abilities do, and this is also what makes her a really good character to use on your account, because the core passive is going to be giving you your guard boards, right? And what these guard boards do are basically like a sub DPS for you, right? Because whenever she leaves the field, the minions don't leave the field. They stay on the field and still attack the enemy. And these guard boards are going to be inheriting Lucy's attack and impact. They're also going to be having the cheer on buff, which gives them a 200% buff to their original effects, and also their attack frequency is going to be increased as well. So this makes them kind of like a pseudo break. They're helping you break the enemy shield. So that means if you don't have a team with a breaker on it, or your team doesn't call to maybe use a breaker, maybe, right? This actually does help you break the enemy shields. And if you use the long drawn out attack, right, the holding down of the EX special, this buff that they get will be lasting for longer. And on top of this, guys, there is an additional ability which really helps with their damage. If you have someone on the team with the same attribute or faction that she has, then her guard boards will be inheriting her crit rate and crit damage as well. And we'll talk more about this later on, of what you actually need to build her and how you need to build her and stuff like this, because I will be showing you if it's actually worth it or not to maybe run an impact main stat with impact gear on her and stuff like that. Now that out of the way, guys, let's go ahead and talk about what the best in slot W engines are. Starting off with number one, guys, Kaboom the Cannon is going to be the absolute best in slot for her, because first of all, guys, this is going to be giving you increased energy regen by 15%, and then on top of that, guys, whenever a friendly unit on the squad attacks or hits an enemy, all friendly allies can get a 2.5% increase to attack for 8 seconds. This can stack up to 4 times, meaning at first dupe, guys, this is going to be giving a 10% attack buff to the whole team. At max dupe, you're getting more like a 16% attack buff there, so pretty negligible in the amount of like 6% extra. So I mean, is 6% really extra there matter, which is still nice at the end of the day, but it's going to be also giving you 50% energy regen, right? Meaning she can use her EX special attack more often, meaning you can attack with it more frequently, meaning you get that buff up for longer. Now the other options you can use for her are actually completely free to play options, starting off with Mark II, guys. This is going to be a B rank W engine, and what this is going to be doing is, first of all, it gives you energy regen off rip, which is super nice. Also, guys, whenever you're launching an EX special or chain attack, you're going to be increasing all squads anomaly mastery or anomaly proficiency by 16 for 10 seconds. This effect can only trigger once every 20 seconds, which is kind of dog shit, not gonna lie, but this could be good for a team, say like a Piper team, right, which is a completely free to play team. We'll talk about teams after this, but Piper with her work really well together. Either you give her the attack buff or you're getting the anomaly mastery and anomaly proficiency for 10 seconds can be super good. Now, like I said, it only activates once every 20 seconds, so your timing does kind of have to be good to actually take really good use of this. There's also another one you could use as well, but this is a BP one, which is a pay to win option. You can only get this by buying the battle pass, which is Unfettered Game Ball. This is going to be giving you energy regen, but also giving you increased crit rate for the whole team as well for 12 seconds. So this is also a very decent engine, especially if you're using her on a crit based team. This could be very beneficial to you as well if you can get those attribute counters off, of course. And yeah, I know her W engine options are, it's like, hey, you either have this W engine, this is absolutely amazing, or you have Reverb Mark II and you have to wait 20 seconds in between buffs. So hopefully they add more stuff in the game. Surely they will, right? Surely they'll add more free to play options in the game. We just have to beg them enough and don't spend money in their game like we have already been doing. So so that will be really good, right? Surely. But now, guys, we're going to talk about the saucy bit, her teammates, because what team does she work well with? Who does she work with well with, right? I think you should know. One of her best in slot teammates, guys. 3, 2, 1, fire! Burnice is an absolute menace to society on a team with Miss Lucy here. On top of this, guys, you can run her with a Caesar King and get an additional attack buff with that as well. And you have Burnice there to just share the love so much. But something else here, though, guys, you can use Lucy, Burnice, and Jane Doe on the same team. Oh my, and then you have the little guys on the field putting fire damage on the enemy, which is also helping out Burnice's ability to put fire on the enemy. So you're getting the procs up even faster with Miss Jane Doe now for the explosion she's going to be doing. That is so goated with the sauce, let me tell you. But that's not the only option you can use, right? I mentioned Piper earlier. You can run her on a completely free-to-play team, a complete A-rank team, I guess you could say, right? With Lucy, Piper, and Ben Biggerton, boys. Or I guess you could use Coletta as well for like a stunner. Piper being your main DPS, Lucy being your support, and obviously your stunner of whoever you want of your choice, really, right? But the big thing here is using fire here, so you're making sure that you get the full Lucy buff, and then you're getting the buff with Miss Piper as well, having 2 of the same faction on the same team, so that's also going to be very, very nice. Realistically, you could just run those 2 on the same team, and I know a lot of people probably don't have physicals like the DPS if you didn't pull for Jane Doe, so this Piper could be a very good option for you to build along with Lucy. They just work so in unison together, right? This is like a nice match made in heaven, especially for free-to-play players. Would definitely recommend building up Lucy and Piper on your account, but we're going to get into all of those reasons at the end of the video on why you should be building Lucy as a free-to-play player. And so you better go ahead and hit that subscribe button now before we actually talk about what the best disk drives are, because everyone hates the disk drive system in this game. I don't know. How do you guys feel about the disk drive system in this game? I just started farming for disk drives. Hadn't seemed that bad to me. I've been able to clear the content with my dog shit disk drive. So now let's go ahead and talk about what the best in slot disk drives are. So her best in slot 4-piece drive disk, guys, is going to be the 4-piece swing jazz. Why? Because first of all, it gives energy regen. Secondly, guys, it's going to be granting the entire team a 15% damage increase following a chain attacker ultimate, which is normally when you're going to be using her attacks anyways. Obviously, you won't be getting that damage buff off whenever you just swap to her and get a quick assist in, but let's be honest, you're doing the majority of your damage when the enemies are stunned anyway, so this is very nice. It launches off from a chain attack. Very easy damage you can get here. Very easy, very sweet, very simple, but there are other 2-piece sets you can run with it. I don't really recommend going off the 4-piece swing jazz just because it gives that damage increase, and it also gives energy regen, so she's able to get that skill back up quicker. So for the 2-piece sets, there are a lot of sets you can run. First of all, the one I recommend, guys, is going to be 2-piece Hormone Punk. Why? It gives you attack percentage, which helps you get to the cap you need to actually reach to get the maximum attack buff off from her skill move. So this is just literally going to be helping out in that field there. Now, there are other things you could run here, right? Like, I personally recommend, if you already have the attacks that you need, don't even run this. I would recommend running the 2-piece impact set. Now, why would you say, well, why would you run the impact set? Because first of all, the boars inherit impact from what she has there, and then that ability is amplified even more. I'll go ahead and show you a side-by-side comparison here of using a impact main stat with a 2-piece impact set versus using the attack set and see how much impact you're actually doing on the enemy. Because at the end of the day, guys, what you want to be doing is breaking down the enemy's toughness as quickly as possible, or the days meter. I'm playing Honkai Star Rail way too much, goddamn. Anyways, breaking down the days meter as fast as humanly possible, and her kind of being like a sub DPS sub breaker in a sense. I don't know what to call her. Maybe running impact here could work. You do go up quite a bit faster when using this. Do keep in mind though, you do need to be reprocking this buff off every single 15 seconds to keep the impact buff up. There's also other variabilities to this as well, like when the enemies move, the boars have to catch up to him and stuff like that. So it really depends on the enemy you're fighting too. If you're fighting the Jane Doe, bro, it's up, bro. It's up. You're fighting Jane Doe, boss, brother, it is up. Them guard boars are not catching up to her. She's gonna and off the screen, bro. Good luck. We're hitting them with them. Anyways, guys, other sets you can run here. Freedom Blues for increased anomaly proficiency can help if you're running on a team with Miss Burnice to help with that fire anomaly proficiency that you have going on the enemy already. And then also Puffer Electro just gives you increased pin ratio. Don't really recommend that all too much. That really just increases her damage. The main things that I care about is getting more impact to help with that if you're facing like a more sluggish enemy, I guess you could say, that's not really that fast and doesn't move that much. But let me stop yapping about that and let's get into the actual nitty-gritty, the stats now, guys. On this number 4, guys, you're going to be wanting to run either attack or crit rate. I definitely prefer attack over crit rate. On disc number 5 is going to be attack. On disc number 6 is going to be energy, regen, attack, or impact. Now, when I mention impact here, when I say to put impact here, this is only if you get the attack that you need to get to max out her buff all the way, right? That's the only case scenario that I recommend here. If you're running her on the correct W engine, if you're running her on a 4-piece jazz set already, you should have enough energy regen to not really need the extra energy regen here, and you can maybe swap this out for something like impact, right? If you already have the stats, which we're going to talk about in a second here, but impact can help, especially against sluggish enemies, to help break down their shields faster. Guard bores can help with breaking the enemies. Keep that in mind. Make sure you're taking full utilization of these kits when you're using them. Might be kind of hard to get though, because we're going to talk about those recommended stats right now. So guys, for the substats, I would recommend attack percentage, crit rate, pin, or attack. Now, as far as those recommended stats go, attack's going to change based off of the level of your special attack. At level 10, that's going to be 2475. At level 8, it's going to be 2700. So you definitely want to be aiming for those 2 extra levels. You can bring down that attack much more. That's like the only requirement I think you would need here. Other things you can run are crit rate and crit damage. Obviously, you want a 2-to-1 ratio if you can get it. 40-100 would probably be fine on the minimum end. I mean, I probably wouldn't go anything higher than 60%. Like, you don't want to be focusing too much on it. Obviously, focus on getting that attack stat first, and then everything else can come after that. And then the final stat on attack here, guys, that I want to show you, this only applies if you have her M6. That means you have her EX special leveled up to level 16. You're only going to be needing 2,000 attack from this. So, like I said, it could be possible that you swing that impact stat, especially if you have her M6, because it brings that requirement down so low to get the max buff off. I think it could definitely be worth it to get that in. Like, I'll show you what my stats look like right now on mine, and I'm not even running impact or anything right now. I'm not even running 2 full sets or anything. I'm missing a full attack stat up here. I'm missing whatever defense stat it is down here too, right, with no stats, and I'm currently at 2100. If we want to take a look at the other stats I have, 21% for main stat here, 25% for main stat here, not even leveled up all the way even. Let's see, do we have any? We have 6% attack stat here, and we have no attack stat here, right? So if I level these up to full, you wouldn't even need any substats at all in terms of attack percentage. So having her M6 is actually a super huge buff in terms of this, because you can run impact if you have her M6. I do want to let that be known. I know a lot of people say, oh, just run attack or energy regen. I say run impact. I think it's a very good set to run. Fight me in the comment section if you don't think I'm right. Anyways, guys, the moment you've been waiting for. Why should you as a free-to-play player be building Lucy? First of all, if you're playing this patch, you get her completely for free, right? Second off, a lot of characters in the game play off of attack, whether it's anomaly or a crit-based DPS. They all play off of attack. And yes, we do get a lot of options in this game, aka someone like Shokaku. We get Shokaku for completely free just by going through and doing what Shiyu Defense, or I think it's Shiyu Defense, you get it for free, right? You also, I think, get Nicole for free as well, which is a defense shredding unit. But you have to keep in mind, guys, of what the other abilities do, right? Like the additional abilities and stuff like that that you can actually pop off, and also what typing they are. Like, she's giving you a pretty solid 600 attack buff and some additional DPS on the field too, and additional impact on the enemy, which I just make sure that I think she's really good for that matter. And you also got to think of how quickly she is on and off the field versus someone like the Shokaku, which has to do zoom, 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 boom. And you can only really target one ally after the fact, because her whole fly the flag thing only applies to the next ally that you use, either from a quick assist or a chain attack. So if you mess that up, you're not getting the buff, okay? You're not getting the 1000 attack buff. Even if you get like the additional 500 attack buff, right, it's still lower than what Lucy can do. But overall, guys, that's why I think that you should be building Lucy, right? Because she gives a 600 attack buff for anyone on your team. It does not matter who they're at or where they're at on the team. They all get the buff, and then you have the little boars helping you out as well. She's really quick, and also with the addition of all these Sons of Kalydon characters, with Lighter coming to the game soon, I think she could be a really good pickup, because he's fire, she's fire. You could maybe run on a team with Piper, which is a match made in heaven, like I was mentioning before. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed, please leave a like on the video. I would love the engagement. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Do you use this bad bitch Lucy? Well, I don't know that I like that I said that. She's kind of like she's a child. No, I can't say that. I am so sorry. I take that back. Yeah, we're gonna end the video on that one. She's a cunt though, I guess. Cunting.